Hey, Tuesday, and it is tax day today. In case you didn't know, it is tax day. And if you're like, what is tax day? Simply put, you make money all year, you pay a certain amount of taxes. If you didn't pay enough, you either got to pay or sometimes you overpaid for the amount of money that you made and deductions. It can get complicated, and then you get money back. So either way, April 15th is typically the day by which you need to file. Sometimes it changes if it falls on the weekend, but it's around April 15th. It is income tax day. Has Mr. Farr filed his taxes? Yes, he has. Already did that. I did that last week. I finished it last week. I started it months ago. All right, let's keep it pushing. So we're going to talk about how to calculate the number of protons, neutrons, and protons, electrons, and neutrons. So very first thing, make sure to write this in your journal. We're going to do this for carbon. Again, we're going to do this for carbon. So the very first thing, write this note down. How to calculate for protons is just the number of protons is equal to the atomic number. That's it. Number of protons is equal to the atomic number. Yeah, get that written down. How to calculate protons? It's the number, really, it's the atomic number. Now, how to find the number of electrons? This is not too crazy. When the atom is neutral, So then, yeah, atomic number up here, boom, number of protons. So you should always be able to find the number of protons because it takes 0 calculations. Now, when the atom is neutral, then the number of protons, right, electrons, will also equal the atomic number. If the atom is neutral, the number of electrons will equal the atomic number. So just remember that as well. Next thing is next. So that means that there'll also be 6. Now, if you want to find the number of neutrons, right, this is where we got to get into a little bit of calculations. So, what you're going to need to do, and write this down, it's the atomic mass, right? So, round that thing to the nearest whole number, and then you want to subtract out, right, the atomic number. So it's nothing too crazy. So you'll take 12.01, right, and then you'll just minus 6, and that will equal to 6.011, or round that to 6. So again, that's all you have to do right there, okay? It's not really too crazy. So I want to give you guys some practice, okay? All right, so let's do this. Okay, this will be interactivity number 39. Again, interactivity number 39. I want you to calculate the number of protons, electrons, and neutrons for zinc, plutonium, and krypton way over there. So pause the screen and go ahead and handle that business. Now you can find these on your own periodic table, so you can do that. Or, like I said, you can actually use the periodic table cells that we have right here. Again, take 2 minutes to get that done. All right, so let's just go ahead and do zinc let's go ahead and do zinc right here. So the number of protons, hopefully you're like, oh, I got it. The number of protons is already off the top. It is going to, oh, wait, let me see if I can. I got to get my pen in there. My bad. Hopefully you're like, boom, it is the number of, it's the atomic number. So it's 30, right? And then if it's neutral, the number of electrons is also going to be equal to 30. So again, if it's neutral atom, getting tongue tied with my words, then it also is going to be 30. So 30 positive, 30 negative, it'll have a neutral. Now this is where we got to do some calculating, right? So then, hey, thank you. All right, anyway, the number of neutrons here, right, you're just going to go ahead and say 65, right? So 65. Hold on. The number of neutrons is literally just going to be this. So we're just going to take the 65, which is the atomic mass, and we're going to subtract this out, and then we're going to round to the nearest whole number. So 65.38 minus, right, the atomic number is 30, and then that will give us what we would say is 35.38. And since this number is 5 or more up the score, 4 or less, let it rest, it would just be 35 neutrons. Now, the same thing over here. Okay, plutonium, up 94 protons. electrons, right, is going to be equal to the same because it is a neutral atom. So it's 94, 94. Now we're going to have to take 244 minus 94. I got to get my handy dandy calculator. I got to get my oh my gosh. See if we can find the calculator. Oh, that's the calendar, calculator, boom. And then I'm going to go 244 minus 94 is equal to 150. And I don't have to do any rounding because it's already a whole number. All right, next thing and the last one is for krypton. There are 36 protons. All right. Then remember, for a neutral atom, it's going to have the same amount of protons and electrons. So, boom, that's 36. Now we get into doing some math. So then we got 83, right, 0.798 minus 36. So let's just go ahead and get that done. Where's my calculator at? Boom, let's bring that thing back because I'm going to need it again. So then we got 83.798 minus 36, which is equal to 47.798. And again, 5 or more up the score. So that's going to end up rounding to what we would say 48. So it would be 48 neutrons. Were you guys able to calculate that? And as you can see, the calculations are not super crazy if you just know what you have to calculate. So again, the protons and the electrons, if it's a neutral atom, are equal to the atomic number. And then you're just going to subtract out the number, the atomic number, from the atomic mass. And what's left is the neutrons, okay? So again, you're just subtracting that out, like right there, boom. And where did my little pen go? Oh, there it goes. And subtracting this out, boom. And then you'll be able to do it. Okay, so hopefully that wasn't too crazy. Don't worry, we will practice more. But I just wanted to go on to the next step of calculations. And I said I was only going to teach for 10 minutes. Boom, the 10 minutes is up. Now, the rest of the time, you will spend working on your first 30 elements. Remember, this is due on Thursday. Again, your flashcards are your first 30 elements. All right, y'all. Peace.